first reading, we heard about healing, how the apostles heal in the power of the risen Lord. There seems to be such a contrast between the Lord whom we see in the Gospel, who heals people in their needs, and when we look at the state of our world, the total destruction of lives in the war in Ukraine. We couldn't have a bigger contrast. The danger is that we think that war is real with its cruelty, and Christians have lost their power to heal. And the ultimate sad message which the world or our culture unconsciously draws as a conclusion, that the power of the Spirit, the healing power of the Spirit, is no longer with us. Just the opposite is true. If we cherished what is written on the page of the Gospel, if we cherished the healing power of Jesus, that He is visiting our sick, if we appreciated and paid attention to this missionary work, if we had the desire and worked on the desire to join Him, then we would realize that the healing power, the life-giving power of the Spirit is real, and war has no power over us. Sadly, we totally lost the balance. That's why it is so important for us Christians to be witnesses to what is real and to offer this experience to the world that Christ is present and He is healing. And just a parallel thought from our continuous reading of Pope Francis's collection of homilies meeting Jesus in the Sacraments. In chapter 20, in his closing part, the Pope speaks about the anointing of the sick, that the priest should be called to the sick, and we should put aside our false fears that if a priest is called to a sick person to anoint him or her, then the undertaker follows. No. The priest comes to help the sick or the elderly person. That is why the priest's visit to the sick is so important. We ought to call the priest to the sick person's side and say, "Come, give him the anointing, bless him." It is Jesus Himself who comes to relieve the sick person, to give him strength, to give him or her hope, to help him, and also to forgive his sins. And this is very beautiful. And when the sick is visited with the ointment, in fact, the visitor priest represents the entire Christian community, that as one body huddles around the one who suffers and his family, nurturing their faith and hope, and supporting them through their prayers and fraternal warmth, so is present the whole local community in the priest's visitation. So these thoughts about the sacrament are an invitation to take our sacraments seriously and treat them as real, as indeed Christ is really present. And if we are able to welcome Christ, who is present in the sacraments, as our real support, then we will realize that war and destruction can become unreal, not even started, but only then.